miss your brother's first birthday. I ain't miss yours though. Mama. I made it.
That was Big X's last word to his family before he was arrested and slammed with a massive sentence. His arrest came after he was caught with marijuana and a handgun, but it was his gang affiliation that ultimately sealed his fate. Let me break it down. BigXthaPlug's last word and arrest. Yo, let's talk about this wild situation that had the rap game shook. Big S, the plug, got arrested on August 21st, 2025 in Dallas, right when he was supposed to be celebrating his biggest moment, the release of his country rap crossover album, I Hope You're Happy. Picture this. The man's got 2 album release parties lined up, fans waiting at Cash Cow nightclub in Deep Ellum, and another event scheduled at Wingstop, but instead of popping bottles, he's getting booked into Dallas County Jail. The timing couldn't have been more brutal. Police stopped his Dodge Ram TRX around 8:45 p.m. in the 7,900 block of Great Trinity Forest Way for not having a front license plate. Now, here's where it gets real. Big X kept it 100 with the officers and told them about the gun under his armrest. That transparency, though, it didn't save him from catching charges for marijuana possession and unlawful possession of a firearm because his name was flagged in the system as a gang member. The charges hit him with a total bond of $5,000, $2,500 for each misdemeanor. But check this, fam. Big X wasn't sweating it. When he got out the next day around 400 p.m., he kept it real with the media.
Is there anything you want your fans to know on this important day?
No comment.
I hope you're happy out now. I hope you're happy out now.
Anything you want to say with this arrest and regarding your previous one?
I hope you're happy out now. Good country out now.
Excuse me, ma'am. Fans that didn't get to catch you last night.
We're gonna run it back. I hope you're happy out now.
Are you gonna do anything tonight for your album?
Now, here's where the story gets deep, and this is what really shows you who Big X is as a man. His attorney, Valerie Baston, stepped up to the cameras talking about.
We're going to wait to see the PC affidavits, but we're going to work vigorously for our client because it just is what it is. It's 2 misdemeanors, and people are trying to make it a felony.
The man's legal team knew what time it was. These weren't life-changing charges, just another bump in the road. But yo, this August arrest wasn't even Big X's first rodeo in 2025. Back in February, he caught another case in Arlington when police pulled him over for expired registration tags around midnight on North Collins Street. Same story, different day. They smelled weed, searched the car, found less than 2 ounces of marijuana and a handgun. Arlington PD booked him with a $500 bail, and he was out by February 27th. Now, here's the part that's going to hit you right in the feels. The Instagram video that dropped on February 28th showed Big X holding his daughter at her first birthday party, fresh out of that Arlington jail. The man was glowing. Yo, you could see the relief and pure joy on his face as he celebrated with his baby girl. The Shade Room posted it with a caption highlighting how he got out just in time for his daughter's milestone moment.
I miss your brother's first birthday. I ain't miss yours though. Mama. I made it. I was here. You hear me, Mama? Bird. Look at you, Daddy. Look at you, Daddy. Hey. Happy birthday. Daddy love you. Daddy love you. More than anybody love you. Yeah. You miss me fingers.
This video hit different because Big X had been open about the pain he felt from missing important moments with his kids due to his legal troubles. In interviews, he's talked about missing his son's first birthday while he was locked up for earlier charges and how that experience tore him up inside. The fact that he made it to his daughter's first birthday despite the February arrest showed fans that he was really trying to break that cycle. But let's talk about the promise that changed everything. Big X has a 6-year-old son named Amar, who was diagnosed with autism at age 4. In emotional interviews, Big X has opened up about how his son's diagnosis affected him, especially when Omar went from being very verbal to having speech difficulties.
Is it almost really interesting having a child with autism? Because it almost seems like it's more of a complex relationship.
So they're actually the smartest kids in the world.
The man educated himself, going to appointments, doing research, learning everything he could about autism to be the father his son needed.
I look at my son in his face, I tell him, your daddy will never do no dirt again. I'd never take nothing from nobody.
During a heartfelt New York Times interview, Big X got emotional talking about the promise he made to his son. He told Amar, "You'll never not see me a day in your life." But the reality of touring and his legal troubles made that promise hard to keep. The guilt was eating him up. He'd say, "Me not being there takes a toll on me, and I only started doing this for him." What makes this even more powerful is Big X's involvement with the Autism Society of America, where he did a PSA calling autism a journey that's not easy, but emphasizing the importance of not making it a hard journey. He talks about watching his son be him as his favorite thing, and how Omar has taught him patience, real love, and how to celebrate the little wins. The street's been showing Big X love through all this drama. When news broke about his August arrest, fans on social media were split between supporting him and criticizing Texas laws. Comments like, "Free Big X, he one of the realest," from supporters, while others were calling out the system. Getting locked up for weed in 2025 is why y'all need to get out and vote. And they love getting the rappers for guns and drugs. His album, I Hope You're Happy, still dropped on August 22nd as planned, featuring collaborations with Jelly Roll, Luke Combs, Shabootsie, and other country artists. The irony wasn't lost on anyone. Here's a man talking about hope and happiness while dealing with legal drama that disrupted his release parties. The most real part about all this is how Big X handled the situation. Instead of letting the arrest derail everything, he focused on what mattered: his family and his music. When asked about rescheduling the canceled Wingstop event, he simply said yes, showing he wasn't about to let legal troubles stop him from connecting with his fans. The transformation from the man who used to rob drug dealers to support his infant son to the father celebrating his daughter's birthday after jail shows real growth. That February Instagram video wasn't just about a birthday party. It was about a man keeping his word to be present for his children despite the obstacles life threw at him. And that promise to his son Omar, that's the driving force behind everything Big X does now, even when the legal system keeps trying to knock him down. What really drives this home is how Big X talks about the balance between his career demands and fatherhood responsibilities. During that emotional New York Times interview, he broke down discussing how touring takes him away from a mom, especially knowing his son needs consistency and routine due to his autism. The man's carrying real guilt about pursuing success while trying to be the father he never had growing up in Pleasant Grove. The legal drama surrounding both arrests in 2025 highlighted something deeper: Big X's determination to normalize his relationship with law enforcement while maintaining his street credibility. His transparency with officers during both stops, voluntarily disclosing weapons, showed a man trying to handle situations differently than he might have in his younger days. But the system still treated him like a career criminal due to that gang database flag, proving that past mistakes continue to haunt even when you're trying to do right. The fan response to his legal troubles revealed something beautiful about Big X's connection to his audience. Beyond the typical free Big X posts, fans were sharing stories about their own struggles with autism, thanking him for bringing visibility to the autism community through his advocacy work. Comments from parents dealing with similar challenges showed that Big X's openness about Amar's diagnosis was creating real impact beyond just entertainment. BigXthaPlug Street Life Confessions and the criminal past that nearly destroyed him. Let's keep it real about where Big X came from before the fame, because this story ain't pretty, but it's necessary to understand how deep this man was in the streets. Xavier Londam grew up in Dallas's Pleasant Grove neighborhood, and from Jump Life was showing him the harsh realities of street survival.
It's just a city, man. I was at that time, I was like 9.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I was in the Grove with my mom to like 9. That's where I seen the worst parts at, you know what I'm saying?
When he was just 4 or 5 years old, he witnessed his mother shoot at a would-be thief during an attempted robbery. That's the kind of environment that shapes a young mind early. The man himself got real about his upbringing, talking about how his mother was his best friend and a gangster who put him onto music like UGK and the Ely Brothers, while his father was the disciplinarian who introduced him to artists like Drake and Lil Wayne. But having musical influences ain't the same as having stability, and Big X learned that lesson the hard way. School wasn't happening for him. He was frequently skipping classes and getting into fights, showing early signs that traditional education wasn't going to be his path. The streets were calling. And when you're growing up in areas where opportunities are limited and survival is the daily concern, sometimes you make choices that seem necessary at the time. After high school, things got real desperate real quick. Big X turned to robbing drug dealers to support himself. And he kept it 100 about this in interviews. This wasn't some casual side hustle. This was survival mode for a young man trying to figure out how to eat and take care of responsibilities. But robbing dealers, that's playing with fire in the most dangerous way possible. The consequences caught up to him before he even hit 18. Big X faced arrest for burglary and aggravated robbery, charges that carried serious weight and put him behind bars during some of the most important moments of his young life. This wasn't just about legal troubles. This was about missing milestones that he could never get back.
My girlfriend at the time, she like, oh, you finna be 18. Let's go get your license. Let's go to San Antonio and get your license. I go, boom, get my license, and the constable come out the back room and tell me I got a warrant for aggravated robbery.
And so the cops show up outside, or she just fills you in and tells you?
Nah, as soon as I do this little thumbprint at the what is it, the DPS?
Sure. Yeah.
And boom.
The most heartbreaking part. He missed his son Amar's first birthday while he was incarcerated. Picture this. Your baby boy is hitting that major milestone, taking his first steps into toddlerhood, and you're sitting in a cell because the streets led you down the wrong path. That kind of pain changes a man permanently. But even before that major wake-up call, Big X had another path that could have changed everything. He had football aspirations and was attending Crown College in Minnesota, trying to make something of himself through sports. But life had other plans. He got expelled for smoking marijuana. And just like that, his legitimate shot at success was gone. When that football dream died, desperation set in heavy. Big X has been real about this period, saying he did what he had to do to survive after his son was born. He wasn't making excuses, but he was explaining the reality. When you got a baby to feed and no legitimate income, the streets start looking like the only option. The criminal activities escalated. And in a 2023 Spin interview, Big X admitted to robbing felons to support his infant son. He expressed deep remorse, stating, "I've done a lot of stuff to people in my past. I pray that God forgives me now, but I did what I had to do to survive." That's raw honesty right there. Acknowledging the wrong while explaining the circumstances that led to those choices. What makes this even more real is how he talked about the ongoing fear from his past. Big X admitted that his visibility as a rapper put him at risk, saying, "Everybody knows who and where I am. At any moment, anybody can pull up and do whatever. The streets don't forget, and when you've wronged people in your past, success can make you a target." The legal troubles didn't stop with those early arrests. In 2022, Big X was arrested again for illegal possession of weapons and marijuana in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. This time, he ended up in solitary confinement, and that isolation became a turning point. He used that time to write songs that would later contribute to his debut album, Omar. During that 2022 arrest, he spent time in solitary where he continued writing, transforming his pain and experiences into lyrics that would eventually help him break into the music industry. The songs he created during that dark period became part of the foundation for Amar, which debuted at number 4 on Billboard's Heatseekers chart. But let's talk about what really drove him to the streets. The absence of a strong father figure. Big X has spoken about lacking consistent fatherly guidance growing up, which influenced his early life choices. He mentioned losing friends to gang life and family members to prison, creating a cycle that seemed impossible to escape. The gang affiliation that keeps coming up in his arrests isn't something he talks about directly, but law enforcement databases have. Him flagged as a documented gang member based on Arlington Police Department records. This flag has escalated charges in recent arrests, turning what might be legal gun possession into misdemeanor offenses. What's crazy is how the street shaped his music style and authenticity. His tracks draw heavily from these personal experiences, with his Southern trap sound reflecting the harsh realities of Dallas street life. Songs like Texas and MHM carry the weight of someone who lived through real struggle, not someone just rapping about it for image. The criminal background also explains why he's so committed to being present for his children now. He's determined to break the cycle that he experienced, using his platform to model responsibility and show his kids a different path than the one that led him to robbing dealers and facing serious charges. But here's the thing that shows real growth. Big X doesn't glorify his criminal past or try to make it sound cool. When he talks about it, there's genuine remorse and a clear understanding that those choices could have cost him everything. The fact that he's using those experiences to fuel his music career instead of returning to illegal activities shows the transformation that fatherhood sparked in him. The street life that nearly destroyed Big X became the foundation for his redemption story, but only because he was willing to learn from those mistakes and channel that pain into something positive. And now, every time he faces legal troubles for minor infractions, it's a reminder of how far he's come from those days of robbing dealers just to survive. The deeper you dig into Big X's past, the more you understand why his music hits so hard with people who've lived similar struggles. Growing up in Pleasant Grove wasn't just about poverty. It was about navigating a neighborhood where violence was normalized and young men had to make impossible choices between survival and staying clean. That early trauma of watching his mother defend their home with gunfire when he was barely out of kindergarten set the tone for everything that followed. What's wild is how Big X describes the mentality that drove him to target drug dealers specifically rather than random victims. In that Raw Spin interview, he explained the calculated risk of robbing people who were already operating outside the law, thinking they'd be less likely to involve police. But that strategy also meant dealing with people who had their own networks and methods of retaliation. A dangerous game that could have ended his life before his music career even started. The period between his football dreams crashing and his music taking off represents the darkest chapter in Big X's story. After Crown College expelled him for marijuana use, he returned to Dallas with no prospects and a baby on the way. That combination of shattered dreams, financial pressure, and no legitimate skills created the perfect storm that pushed him toward increasingly risky criminal behavior. The 2022 arrest that landed him in solitary confinement wasn't just another legal setback. It was his rock-bottom moment. Spending holidays like Thanksgiving alone in a cell, missing crucial bonding time with infant Omar, forced Big X to confront the reality that his choices were destroying the family he was trying to protect. That's when the transformation from criminal to artist truly began, with those jail-witten songs becoming his lifeline to a different future. BigXthaPlug's meteoric rise from Dallas streets to country rap crossover king. Now let's talk about how Big X turned all that street pain into pure musical gold. Because this transformation been nothing short of incredible to witness. After getting released from his pre-2022 incarceration, Big X started his music journey in 2019. But it wasn't until the early 2020s that the rap game really started paying attention to what this Dallas native was cooking up. The breakthrough moment came with his track Texas. And yo, when I say this song took off, I mean it absolutely exploded across every platform. The track amassed over 200 million streams and peaked at number 65 on the Billboard Hot 100, putting Big X on the map as a force to be reckoned with in the Southern trap scene. TikTok played a huge role in this success, with the song going viral and introducing Big X's raw storytelling style to millions of listeners who connected with his authentic Dallas sound. But Texas was just the beginning. His debut mixtape, Back from the Dead, dropped in 2020, featuring tracks like Red Bottoms and Moolah that showcased his ability to blend street narratives with catchy hooks. This project reflected his journey from the criminal activities that landed him in solitary confinement, transforming those dark experiences into music that resonated with fans who understood struggle. The real game changer came in 2023 with his debut album Omar, named after his autistic son. This wasn't just another rap album. This was a father's love letter to his child, wrapped in Southern trap production and delivered with the authenticity that only comes from lived experience. The album debuted at number 4 on Billboard's Heatseekers albums chart, proving that Big X had evolved from a street storyteller to a legitimate artist with commercial appeal. The collaboration started flowing after Omar proved his staying power. Big X linked up with artists like Offset and Nelly Choa, bringing his Dallas sound to a broader audience and showing that his appeal crossed regional boundaries. These partnerships weren't just features, they were validation from established artists who recognized Big's talent and authenticity. In October 2024, Take Care dropped and really showed the rap game that Big X was here to stay. The album debuted at number 8 on the Billboard 200 with 25,000 album equivalent units in its first week. Numbers that put him in conversation with established rap stars. Tracks like MHM, which also peaked at number 65 on the Hot 100 and Therapy Session, became fan favorites that solidified his position in the hip-hop hierarchy. The touring game showed Big X's drawing power in real time. His Take Care tour included a sold-out show at Numos in Seattle where fans packed the venue to hear tracks like 2 a.m. and Therapy Session performed live. The energy was electric, with opening acts Ro Dollar Alma and Young Hood setting the stage for Big X's high-energy performance that had the crowd going crazy. But December 8th, 2024, at the same Seattle show, Big X showed he wasn't playing when it came to disrespect. A fan was heckling during his set and threw water at him on stage, and Big X jumped off the stage with his crew to handle business. The situation got physical with video footage, showing the heckler ending up with a bloodied face, but no arrests were made. Big X resumed the performance afterward, showing that professionalism even after dealing with disrespect. In 2025, XXL magazine named Big S their best new artist. Official recognition from one of hip-hop's most respected publications that his impact couldn't be ignored. This wasn't just about commercial success. This was about artistic merit and cultural influence in the rap game. The signing with United Masters and distribution through Virgin Music gave Big X something many artists never get: creative control over his music. This independence allowed him to maintain his authentic voice while building a sustainable business, something that became crucial as his fanbase grew from regional supporters to a national audience. Festival appearances became another way Big X expanded his reach. His performance at Bonnaroo 2024 introduced him to music fans outside the traditional hip-hop audience. While his upcoming slots on Drewski's Cafes tour in 2025 show he's still in demand for major events. But the boldest move came in August 2025 with I Hope You're Happy. His country rap crossover album featuring collaborations with Jelly Roll, Luke Combs, Shabootsie, Darius Rucker, Thomas Rhett, and Ella Langley. This wasn't just genre experimentation. This was Big X showing his versatility and willingness to take risks that other rappers wouldn't dare attempt. The New York Times praised the album, noting how Big X described it as his heart and story, blending urban and country elements in a way that felt natural rather than forced. The album showcased his growth as an artist who could work across genres while maintaining his authentic voice. Tracks like Hear Voices featuring Lil Wayne and Deep proved that Big X could hold his own with rap legends while exploring new sounds. The album's digital release on August 22, 2025 proceeded despite his arrest drama, showing that his team was prepared to handle obstacles and keep the music flowing. By 2025, Big X had over 14 million monthly Spotify listeners, numbers that put him in elite company among contemporary rappers. His ability to blend hip-hop with country elements opened up new audiences while maintaining street credibility with his core fanbase. The advocacy work around autism awareness inspired by his son Amar added another dimension to his public persona. His involvement with the Autism Society of America showed fans that success hadn't made him forget his responsibilities as a father, earning respect that goes beyond music. What makes Big X's rise even more impressive is how he's navigated success while dealing with recurring legal issues. The arrest in February and August 2025 could have derailed other artists, but Big X kept releasing music, touring, and building his brand despite the distractions. His upcoming projects include teased collaborations with Post Malone and Morgan Wallen for a country EP, showing that the crossover success of I Hope You're Happy opened doors that most rappers never get to walk through. The transformation from robbing dealers in Dallas to collaborating with country music's biggest stars represents one of the most remarkable redemption arcs in recent hip-hop history. From writing songs in solitary confinement to headlining sold-out shows. From missing his son's first birthday to celebrating his daughter's first birthday after jail release, Big X's journey embodies the American dream played out through Southern trap beats and country guitar licks. The man turned his lowest moments into his highest achievements. And the rap game been taking notes ever since. The business side of Big X's rise tells an even more impressive story about his strategic thinking beyond just making music. His partnership with United Masters wasn't just about distribution. It was about maintaining ownership of his masters and building long-term wealth. Something that separates him from artists who sign traditional record deals and lose control of their catalog. This independence allowed him to pivot into country music without label interference, a move that required serious confidence in his artistic vision. The streaming numbers tell the story of an artist who understood digital marketing before it became essential. With over 14 million monthly Spotify listeners in Texas hitting 200 million streams, Big X proved that authentic storytelling could compete with manufactured hits. His social media presence grew organically through fan engagement rather than paid promotion, creating a loyal fan base that supported him through legal troubles and genre experimentation. What's really wild is how Big X's arrest timing in August 2025 actually boosted his profile rather than hurt it. The publicity surrounding his album release day. Arrest generated more media coverage than traditional promotion could have bought, with outlets from TMZ to the New York Times covering his story. His ability to turn negative situations into marketing moments shows the media savvy that separates successful artists from talented ones who never break through. The country music crossover represented more than just musical experimentation. It was Big X positioning himself in markets that most rappers can't access. Working with established country stars like Luke Combs and Jelly Roll opened doors to country radio, festival circuits, and demographics that rarely embrace hip-hop artists. This strategic expansion of his brand beyond traditional rap boundaries shows the kind of long-term thinking that builds generational wealth rather than just momentary fame. That's all, fam, and thanks for popping by. To enjoy more of such content, click on the card showing on the screen.